Now, it's incredibly unusual for the police to accept and admit liability when making an out-of-court settlement. In fact, they hardly ever admit liability, even if it got to court and they were found to be in the wrong, which is what makes this story a bit more interesting. Tariq Stanley was sat in his car outside his home on the 17th of April 2020, wearing his dressing gown and slippers. Tariq did this because his wife did not like him smoking in their flat. A Metropolitan police van pulled up with 6 police constables from the Violent Crime Task Force behind Tariq's vehicle. They clearly had a very slow evening with not many people to abuse, as they jumped out and claimed they could smell cannabis. Tariq says he responded to the question of, "Have you been smoking cannabis?" with a yes, as he mistakenly thought they said, "Have you been smoking?" which of course at the time he said he was. He says he was arrested and handcuffed, taken back to the police station where he was strip searched and then detained in a cell, and during the interaction he sustained an injury to his wrist. Tariq obviously complained to the police's professional standards department, but the Met cleared their henchmen of any wrongdoing, and so he then decided to sue them. Metropolitan Police said it would learn lessons and claimed that stop and search between October 2021 and September 2022 had resulted in more than 55,404 acts of criminality being detected, which was vital to saving lives on London's streets. But I wonder how many acts of criminality it uncovered being perpetrated by the police. Anyway, the Met have accepted liability with a payout of more than £22,000 in damages and costs before it was able to reach court, which tells me that the Met's legal team advised them to make the offer, as it would be lower than Tariq would receive if he was awarded a payout by the court. Metropolitan Police Commander John Saville said, "We have accepted responsibility for our actions on that day, which fell below the standards expected." Saville said the force apologised for the injury and distress caused, adding, "The officers on that day acted with good intentions when stopping and searching the man. It was never their intention for him to suffer any injuries." Of course. Tariq Stanley said the police have not changed, definitely not. "We had to chase them for the apology even after the lawyers had agreed it. They kept on denying liability or doing anything wrong, but then said, 'Here is some money and an apology.' It does not make sense." The IOPC, which declined to independently investigate Stanley's complaint, said the force are required to consider whether, as a result of civil proceedings, there is any conduct matter to record and refer. "We are not immediately aware of receiving any referrals in relation to this matter." Of course, the police would normally make the payout and state in their correspondence that the payout is not an admittance of liability, but here we have Metropolitan Police Commander John Saville actually admitting liability, which is quite a surprise. Anyway, it's great to see the police being held accountable, although, to be fair, they haven't really been held accountable. They've simply managed to pay for the problem to go away, and obviously won't learn a single thing, because the police perpetrators will simply be let off the leash again and will continue to abuse their powers on the public. But at least this is one more person who's seen their bank balance increase, thanks to the misfortunate running with the police.